Then came the rumor that broke the internet. Whispers that Vanessa Bryant wasn't just seeing someone new, but that she might actually be pregnant, and not just by anyone, but by a young baller. The widow of Kobe Bryant, the symbol of eternal devotion, suddenly thrust back into the spotlight, not for her strength, but for daring to move on. It all began with a grainy clip, a blurry paparazzi photo, a faceless gossip tweet that said just enough to go viral, but not enough to be proven. Vanessa Bryant rumored to be pregnant by a young baller. That single line lit the internet on fire. Even Joe Budden couldn't resist discussing it in a viral segment, his tone half disbelief, half fascination, repeating the same phrase that echoed across every blog and comment section, a young baller. The room he spoke interrupted. Some gasped, others laughed. But beneath it all was something darker, discomfort. Because whether it was true or not didn't matter. What mattered was that people were angry. Angry that she might be pregnant. Angry that she might be in love. Angry that she wasn't frozen in 2020. Because in their minds, she wasn't just Kobe's widow. She was supposed to be a monument to his memory. Untouched, unchanging, eternal. One viral comment said it all. I don't want to see her move on. I don't want to see Lauren London move on. I don't want to see any of them move on. It wasn't grief anymore. It was possession. The world wanted Vanessa trapped in time, forever grieving, so their hero could remain untouched by change. And when she didn't comply, they called her names, cruel ones, the kind meant to wound. But Vanessa's story isn't unique. The internet has turned every widow's healing into a crime, from Lauren London to Faith Evans, to women who don't live in mansions or grace red carpets. Society demands that they stay loyal to ghosts, that they wear black forever, that they stop living the moment love is lost. And when they don't, the world burns them at the stake. When Vanessa finally spoke, she did it with grace. An Instagram post, simple and sharp. I'm enjoying my summer. Not pregnant. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. Because this was never about pregnancy. It was about control. The truth is, if the roles were reversed, if Kobe had lived and Vanessa had died, and 5 years later, he found love again, the internet would have called it healing. They would have celebrated his courage, his resilience. But for Vanessa, she's expected to grieve forever. And heaven forbid her new love is young, successful, or even remotely reminds her of the man she lost. Then suddenly, she's the villain, the opportunist, the betrayer of a legacy. Yet beneath the noise, the truth remains. Vanessa Bryant isn't breaking a vow. She's breaking free. One YouTuber put it bluntly. It's hilarious that Kobe Bryant balled so good his fans are mad Vanessa Bryant got pregnant. They're like, the only ball you can carry is Kobe's. No more carrying balls. Even in jokes, the message is clear. Vanessa isn't allowed to carry anything. Not joy, not love, not life. If it doesn't come from Kobe. But Vanessa has never been just Kobe's wife. She was his ride or die, the woman who stood by him through the darkest chapters, including the 2003 assault case that nearly destroyed his career. She stayed, raised their daughters, and watched him rebuild. Then she buried him in Guyana in the same week and still found the strength to stand before the world, delivering a eulogy that shattered hearts. We're still the best team. We love and miss you, Boo Boo and Gigi, until we meet again. How can anyone hear that and still believe she owes the world her lifelong grief? This isn't about Kobe anymore. It's about ownership. Fans clinging to the fantasy that they control his legacy and, by extension, the woman who helped build it. Now that Vanessa might have found happiness again, the internet's furious. But the truth is darker. What started as a vague, baseless rumor about a young baller has become a mirror reflecting society's hypocrisy. We don't just police Vanessa. We police every widow who dares to live after. Loss. Lauren London. Faith Evans. Everyday women too. Their grief is applauded only if it's permanent. The moment they smile, they're labeled betrayers. Vanessa, through it all, did everything right. She loved fiercely, forgave publicly, endured unimaginable pain, and honored Kobe's legacy with grace. But 5 years later, a whisper that she might move on was enough to break the internet. Why? Because the world still believes women's healing must come second to men's memory. Kobe was allowed redemption. Vanessa isn't allowed renewal. And it's not just sexism, it's racial bias too. White widows get magazine covers celebrating second chances. Black and Latina widows like Vanessa get gossip blogs and hate threads. She didn't confirm a relationship. She didn't even step out publicly. She just existed long enough for people to assume she might be happy again, and that alone made her a target. Podcasts joked about it, fans moralized about it, but beneath every word was a chilling truth. They don't see her as a woman. They see her as a monument. Every move she makes, every post, every smile is dissected like evidence. And yet, through the noise, Vanessa reminds the world of one thing. She doesn't owe anyone grief. She owes her daughters joy, stability, and life. If she's found that, then the real scandal isn't her moving on. It's that we ever thought she shouldn't to when Vanessa Bryant wears black. She's praised for mourning. When she vacations, people question if it's appropriate. When she posts family photos, she's honoring Kobe. But the moment she's rumored to date, she's accused of forgetting him. It's a cruel, no-win game being played on her back and on her daughter's future. Because what the public is really doing is weaponizing Kobe Bryant's legacy against the very family he left behind. They're doing to Vanessa what they'll soon do to Natalia, holding her hostage to a brand she never asked to protect. The day Natalia chooses to date or build a life beyond the Mamba name, they'll turn on her too, unless we stop this cycle now. Because what is Kobe's legacy really for if not love, family, forgiveness, and second chances? Vanessa said it herself at the memorial. We really had an amazing love story. We loved each other with our whole beings. That kind of love doesn't vanish, it evolves. If she's quietly finding peace or even companionship, that's not betrayal. That's continuation. Love like theirs doesn't end in tragedy. It survives through healing, through hope, through living. No one gets to mourn Kobe more than the woman who buried him. No one gets to protect his image by destroying hers. And no one gets to decide when a widow stops crying and starts smiling again. That's not grief, that's control. And Vanessa Bryant is done playing by those rules. For 5 years, she's remained silent. No Oprah special, no tell-all memoir, no Netflix deal, no emotional podcast interviews. Just quiet dignity. That silence once shielded her, but now it's being twisted into a weapon. In that silence, the internet has filled the void with fantasy and fiction, none more vicious than the rumor that she was pregnant by a young baller, a lie she directly denied, writing, "I'm enjoying my summer, not pregnant." But the conversation didn't stop. It erupted because Vanessa has become a symbol. Not a woman, not a widow. A symbol of loyalty, of grace under fire, of what a good wife should be after death. And symbols aren't allowed to change. So when she refused to cry on command, refused to break down, refused to perform her pain for the public, they turned on her, cold and cruel. This isn't just about hate. It's about ownership. People think they own Kobe's story, and by extension, they believe they own Vanessa's too. The moment she dares to write new chapters without their permission, they rip the pages out. But here's the cruel irony. Vanessa's silence, once her armor, has become a weapon used against her. Without her voice, the only ones speaking are the loudest and most hateful, rewriting her story in real time. They decide what her grief should look like, when her loyalty should expire, and what kind of woman Kobe Bryant deserves to be remembered with. And it's never a woman who might fall in love again. Never a woman who might dare to feel joy or desire. It's a twisted joke, but one that hits because the belief behind it is real. The world expects Vanessa to live in suspended animation, a permanent widow carved in marble to guard Kobe's legacy. And when she refuses, they don't just mock her, they villainize her. But this obsession runs deeper than gossip. It's a centuries-old sickness, the policing of how women grieve. We never do this to men. When Liam Neeson lost Natasha Richardson, the media mourned with him, then quietly cheered when he dated again. When comedian Patton Oswalt remarried just 15 months after his wife's death, people celebrated his courage to love again. But when women move on, they're condemned. We call it performative grief, but it's really control. In the Victorian era, widows were forced to wear black for years and barred from social life until society deemed their mourning acceptable. We may have traded corsets for comment sections, but the expectation hasn't changed. The world still wants Vanessa Bryant trapped in mourning forever. Society wants Vanessa Bryant to perform her grief like an opera, dramatic and unending. But here's the truth. Grief doesn't follow your script. And Vanessa isn't performing anymore. She's living on her own terms, quietly and privately. That's exactly why the rumor of her moving on hit so hard. It shattered the illusion that she was still the world's widow, still mourning Kobe, still frozen in 2020. The moment that illusion cracked, the backlash began. Even the mere suggestion of intimacy sent people into outrage. But why? Because for some fans, her grief became their comfort. Her pain helped them cope with Kobe's loss. Her suffering made them feel close to him. And now that she might be healing, they feel betrayed, as if she owes them her sorrow, as if her existence is meant to keep their emotional bond to a man she actually loved and lost. That's not devotion, that's cruelty. And here's the ultimate truth. Kobe Bryant would never want this. Everything about his life, especially in his final years, showed a man who adored his wife, who fought for her, who apologized, who grew, and who loved his family more than anything. He was the ultimate girl dad, and he lived for their happiness. So, would he want his daughters to grow up watching the world shame their mother for healing? Would he want them to think grief is a prison, or that love after loss is betrayal? Absolutely not. Because Kobe's real legacy, beyond basketball and the Mamba mentality, was about redemption, resilience, and growth. And that's exactly what Vanessa is doing now, growing gracefully and unapologetically. And that's what truly terrifies people. Not that she might love again, but that she's finally doing it without asking for anyone's permission.